Math 1 sequence is 1.1, and we're also going to take a look at that math toolbox that you needed to finish as well. So, they just want us to fill in these tables at first. Okay, you run a business making birdhouses. You spend $600 to start your business, and it costs you $5 to make each birdhouse. Okay, so what you want to think of, okay, so we had to spend this much, okay, and then 5 per one. Now, you may think that you only have to start with $5 per one, and then 10, and then 20, or 15, and so on. The problem is you already spent that $600, okay? It's like if you didn't build any birdhouses, you'd still be in the whole $600, okay? So then we add that 5 to it. So I get 605, then 610, then 615, and so on, following that pattern. Okay, so then your explanation would be, it was 5 per birdhouse, and the 6 to start, so that's what told me, the 600. Okay, you make a $15 payment on your loan of $500 at the end of each month. Okay, so after that first month, you've subtracted 15 from the 500, so that would be $485. Okay, so if you went back to the 0, that would start out at 500. So we're subtracting 15 each time because it's per month. Okay, so 45 minus 15 would be 470, then 455, then 440, then 425, then 410, and then 395. Okay. All right. Number 3 says you deposit $10 in a savings account at the end of each week. So number of weeks. So at the first week you'd have $10 because at the 0 week you'd start out with no money. And then 20 because we're adding 10 each time, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and so on. Okay. And then 4, you are saving for a bike and can save 10 per week. You have $25 when you begin. So after that first week, you've now earned the 25 plus the 10, so that would be 35. So the second week, you would have 45, then 55, then 65, and so on with that pattern, until you had enough to buy your bike. All right, so now we just wanted to graph here. Remember, we typically call the horizontal axis the x, the vertical the y. This table just becomes a coordinate of 0, 3, coordinate pair. So the 0 for the x would be right here, then we go up 3 for the y. So it would be right there. Then 2, 7, I go over 2, and then I'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right about there. Then 3, 9. 3, and then up to 9, right about there, and then 5, 13. So over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay? And it didn't say anything, we don't need to draw the graph. It just said plot those points. Okay? So 0, 14, 0's right here, and I go up to 14, so right about there. 4, 10, we go out to 4, then up to 10. 7, 7, we go out to 7, then up to 7. And finally 9, 5, out to 9, up to 5. So not too bad, right? 7 and 8, same idea. Here's my x and my y. Okay, now technically you could change those x's and y's, and that would just change where your points were, but it would still work as long as you labeled it. So 2, 11, we go out 2, up to 11. 4, 10, out 4, up to 10. 6, 9, out 6, up 9. And 8, 8. Out 8, and up 8. Right there. Right, and there was nothing else we needed to do here. So last one. 1, 4. 1, 4 would go right there. 2, 7, right here. 3, 10, and 4, 13. 14 right there. Okay, now on the toolbox one, we needed to read the story problem, find the starting point and the growth, okay, fill out the table, and then draw a graph. I said not to worry about the equations on any of these problems, and we just had 4 problems with that, okay? So, the first one, a limousine company charges an initial rate of $50.75 for each hour. Okay, so we have the cost here, right? And we have it's per hour, so that's going to be our hours. Okay, so we could call that H for hours, C for cost. Now, if we rented a limousine but we didn't use it at all, if we used 0 hours, what would it cost? Well, that initial fee of 50 means we'd pay 50 there. Then after the first hour, that 50 plus the 75. So my starting point was $50, and my growth or slope was 75. Then at 2, we add, oh wait, not 75, huh? We added 75, so that'd be 125. Then we add another 75, so we get 200. Then 275 for 3 hours. 4 hours would be 350. 5 would be 425. 6 would be 500. Getting pretty pricey pretty quick, huh? And 7, 575. Now, if I'm going to graph this, I'm going to have to change my scale, right? So the hours down here is fine to be 1 through 7. But going up here, I'm going to have to change my scale. Let's change it to 50. And then that'd be 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, and so on. So at 0, we'd go up to 50. There's our first point. At 1, up to 125, right about there. 2, 200. You can kind of see the pattern. 3, 275. 4, 350. 5, 425. 6, 500, and then about 7, be right about there. Now we could leave the points like this, or we could draw the line. We'll talk more about the difference between doing that kind of stuff. Okay, so number 2 says Angela receives a base weekly salary of 100 plus a commission of 65 for each computer she installs. So she starts at $100 per week. Then, depending on how much she sells, she can grow it by $65 per computer. So we would have, this would be sales or commission, I guess, not sales really, be installs, right? So we'll call that installs, and this would be her salary, or what she gets paid. So if she works but doesn't get anything done, she gets 100. If she installs 165, we're adding 65 each time, right? 2 would be 230. Yep. Then another 65 would be 295. So 4 installs would give us 360. Another install, 425. Another install, 490, and then finally 555. Okay, now this one's going to be a bit trickier to graph, isn't it? Okay, we got to get up to 500, so we could do it by 50s again. So 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So at 0, she's up at 100. At 1, she's at 165, so slightly more. At 2, she's at 230. 3, 295, almost to 300. 4, 360. 5, 425. Then 490 and 555. So look something like that. All right. Okay, Garrett borrowed $500 from his aunt. She doesn't charge any interest, and he makes $15 payments each month. So he started out owing $500, and he is paying off $15, like a negative 15, each month. So when he started for months, how much he owes was $500. Okay, then we're kind of tracking per month, right? 7 months. So we're subtracting 15 each time. So 485, 470, 455, 440, 425, 410, and 395. So if we make this 500 again, so count by 100s again, or 50. So 400, 300, 200, and 100. So we start out 0, 500 right there. Then at 1, we're down to 485, 2, 470, then 455, then 440, 425, 410, and 395, something like that. Okay? And we forgot question number 3, didn't we? Okay, so a cable company charges a monthly fee of $59 plus 8 for each movie watched. So for this would be how much the cost is, right, per movie. So if we don't watch any that month because our mom grounds us from doing it, we still pay $59. And then if we watched one movie that month, we would add 8 more. So $59 plus $8 would be $67, plus 8 would be then 75, then 83, then 91, and 99, 107, and 115. Okay. So maybe if we counted by tens here, so that would be 100, 90, and so on. So 059 would be right about here. Then 167, 275, 383, 491, 599, and 107, and 115. So look something like that. All right, the last one, question 5. What is the importance of the starting number and y-intercept and the slope and the growth? Okay, how are they used in each table? Well, that growth we can see down the table. That growth we can see as we go up or down on the graph. Okay, that starting number, we see where we start on the table. Starting number is usually that y-intercept. So those numbers are extremely important in helping us do any of this stuff. All right, there we go.